Why does Ultima look so thick?
Joe, have you even seen what Ultima looks like?
I've seen him, but like in the banner, he's a big boy.
That's why I literally said like, that's not necessarily how big he's going to be if he gets into the KWC.
Right.
For now, he looks like that redesigned Zilla. That's like fat. Like, post it.
All the thick boys.
Guys, we're allowed to mention that Ultima exists and he might get into the KWC.
Right. Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's fair.
He looks good from the side, but his front face is like, ew. That's not your good aim.
I don't blame you for thinking that, because it's like, that was a very similar impression I had. Mostly when he opened his mouth. It's the lower jaw to me that kind of screws it up a little.
Nice.
To me.
Yeah, I like Ultima from all angles. I like the mouth.
It's like looking at a front-facing Simpsons character.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Ultima's design just all around.
Big blasted.
That's the one.
I don't want to know what this is.
It's just a redesign. A little too much.
Yeah. It's what GVR said.
Damn.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah, no, that...
It is? Are you serious?
That looks...
Well, I don't know for certain. It's just like, I know certain things, and that's looking like it.
It's leading pretty strong into it.
It looks like that disgusting fat lizard thing from Kaiju Combat.
Oh, Macrosaurus?
Yeah.
Oh, that. Yikes.
But anyway. Alright, so we ready to go down to show business, or...
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was about to say, or am I just gonna linger here forever? Alright. Oh. Wait. That's right, I haven't heard back from Greyshot, which means delay. Nah, we go on without him.
Oh my gosh. he can show up and recover.
Yeah.
We can talk about Nagoda cherry picking.
Yeah, cherry picking Nagoda. Alright, yeah, you know what? We'll go without him this time. Forego it, see how it goes.
There is no Greyshot.
It'll crash and burn. We'll reveal all our secret monsters, and a lot of exciting things will happen this episode, I'm sure.
We're definitely going to have to talk about Rayman.
Oh, yeah. Manila.
Yeah, no, that cat...
About who?
That cat's out of the bag.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yep. We have to talk about Rian Johnson.
Pancakes out of the bag.
Because Anthony doesn't seem to understand that we want to have secret editions.
It's because Tyler decided to say, I'm going to give everything to Anthony. And then Anthony was like, wait, I guess I could just put them all up now.
Oh my God.
We say, as we modify the rule set to be like, oh yeah, no, those monsters with no records on them, don't worry about it. We're never doing that again. And then it happens again.
Yeah.
But Kaiju X, no one cared about Rion.
Damn.
Except one person.
Damn.
Well, that's because, like... Well, okay. There was one person before who noticed it, but didn't know who Rian was, but Kaiju was like, don't say anything or we'll kill you. And then it was just like, the whole staff had to just, like, pretend nothing was happening, as people were like, holy crap, there's a new Kaiju on the roster.
Right?
Bam.
Oh, man.
That is rich.
Dear viewers, if anything has ever led you to believe that the KWC is orderly and organized, you've been led astray.
You know, the people that listen to this podcast already know that.
Maybe this is someone's first episode.
Maybe.
And if this is your first episode, we apologize. We're idiots.
I don't.
We have brains the size of walnuts.
And we only have one brain cell in that walnut-sized brain to share among us. Not like that.
Among Us?
I'm going to strangle all of you.
You walked into that one.
This is an Among Us free zone.
Damn.
But
That's
didn't you
pretty
see the secret
sus.
edition?
We're not adding Among Us to the KWC. Shut up, Dale.
We are heading Among Us.
Joe shared
Yeah,
it. It's
Joe.
right there.
Kaiju post the picture on the video.
Dale, I'm gonna hurl you out of an
You're
airlock.
gonna have to GVR.
I'm gonna go ask Elon Musk to launch you into space in his stupid Cybertruck.
That means I'm one step closer to getting to Cybertron.
We're gonna mine Dogecoin with your corpse.
I'm one step closer to getting the Cybertron.
I can finally meet the Transformers.
Wait, what?
Dana, what did you think Cybertron was?
What? Oh, I was gonna make the Cybertron joke when you said you're gonna launch him into a cyber car, and I was like, more like Cybertron, but then you already made it.
Oh,
That's what Joe
I thought you
said.
did say Cybertron.
I said Cybertruck.
Oh.
Elon Musk's like the stupid block truck.
More like
Yeah.
Muskrat.
Oh my gosh. This is starting strong.
Elongated muskrat.
Elon Musk, more like die.
No, you're gonna piss off the Redditors. Stop it.
I was gonna make an Elon Musk joke, and then Joe took it.
Damn.
Whoa.
Oh,
Just like Elon Musk killed comedy.
anyway. Oh. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the KWCC. I am your host, Kaiju X, and with me today, I have Dr. Bees, known as more crossover / Birdman / whatever you want to call him. GVR...
British prick.
GVR, Joe, and Ditto. And today, we will be diving into the first match in our lineup of 4, including KWCE, never forget. Yes.
Don't forget or I'll kill
that
you.
will happen. Match 332. I was about to say 322. Oh no, there's something wrong with me. Match 332. Sego versus Kumonga.
Lego Mayago
Yes.
versus Spiga.
Written by Dan Rogers and banner by Andrew Sudomersky, whoever that may be.
Some racist.
A bearded
Fatto.
racist. There you
Hey.
go.
Fat O, yes, GVR. That's a term.
Fat
people
O,
use.
yes.
Damn.
So going from like top to bottom, since I'm sure Birdman only has a set amount of time before whatever night falls. Birdman, what'd you think of the match? Oh no, he's muted. Oh no, I didn't realize he was muted.
Damn.
Oh no, now he's gonna
Damn.
write.
We came too late. Oh.
Why the hell was I muted?
Yeah, you were just
Oh.
muted. I don't know.
Strange
Like,
thing.
Like
Like,
it
this
wasn't
whole
even. It wasn't even like a server.
Anyway,
mute. It was just you were muted.
Yeah, you were just
Huh.
muted.
Right, anyway, right, going for this is their first match. It's a certainly yeah, it's interesting. It's quite good. I think it actually like. I mean, it's quite what's it, by the book, but it's good. It's a good introduction to Kasego, definitely for people who probably might not be aware of him. And let's say, perhaps predictable, but not quite boring matchup between Spider and Scorpion. That's like, it's one of the predictable matchups. That's not saying it's bad, because yeah.
All right. Did you have anything else to add on to that, or?
I'm not quite sure why they chose to not like the entire match. They never mention they never call for Sego by name, which I'm not quite sure why.
No, that's pretty weird. It's like you think it'd be name dropped, but it's like nope. It almost reminds me of that one Godzillasaurus match. I think Godzillasaurus versus Ghidorah, where Godzillasaurus was completely nameless throughout. Something like that.
Yeah.
That is odd. There's matches where it makes sense where you could do that, but like here, there's no real precedent for it.
I think as an introductory match, it's a little weird. I think if it were just like another match, then it's just like, whatever. But, yeah.
Yeah. No, well, it was the first Sego match we got, so it was the first to be debut.
So, you know what? Not that hard to comprehend between two monsters in this case, so I think it's forgivable. Plus all the technical stuff like Sego winner, spoilers, Sego in the banner title, match title, so, I no real substantial loss, but it is a very interesting decision to just leave out the name of Sego in that one, so. Alright, anything else, Birdman, or? Yeah, okay. Nothing about the banner
I've
either?
said my piece. Oh god, yeah, the banner. That's excellent. Look at work there, Codex. Especially credits to Dopo for the excellent render for Sego.
Are we even properly crediting Dopo when we use his models and banners?
I think I forgot to relay that to Anthony. Usually I try to make sure that banner artists or modelers are properly credited, but unfortunately either Tyler and or Anthony just seem to kind of ignore that. I think that especially Anthony saw, I'll have my brother, I know I just uploaded the banner to my DeviantArt, and I obviously credited Dopo for the wonderful free. Yeah. I think another thing I should be doing,
not a lot of people
should be doing
that.
too, is putting the credits like what Tyler does for artists, like say with 275. Yeah, after the winner, I think we should
after the winner picture,
so
be like
that'd probably be a good idea, especially moving forward for sure, because it's like I don't want to ignore the fact that these were using custom assets, and especially custom assets that well, yeah, cost money, was commissioned specifically for, and just in general, the fact that we're using said assets is like, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Please.
I didn't think of that until recently, so I was like, it'd also be good just in case it doesn't get updated on the front page. So I think we'll just keep that in mind for the future, at least, at the very, very least.
Yeah. We can't trust Anthony to do this. We need to do it ourselves.
Man.
I think for the 3D models, it should be like next to the banner, where you would see the banner creator, like banner creator, your mother.
You mean like along?
Rion 3D model provided by
putting them directly up there. I think usually they're put like, I would personally just go with after winner, personally, but because I don't want to screw up too much.
After winner.
Or actually, I did have something else in mind, but I think that'll be for another time though. I don't know. I think for all intents and purposes here, I'd rather have Dope Pope like credit at the bottom and just be like, here 3D model provided by Dope Pope, check more of his stuff at his art station or whatever. So something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, no, thank you for that. And GVR, what'd you think of the match?
It was pretty good. Short, sweet, and simple match. Spider versus a Scorpion is a rather predictable one, but like for the debut, it's fine. If it hadn't been the debut, it probably would have joined the ranks of Rodan versus Dallas and Rodan versus Mega Gears of like, why hasn't this match been written yet? And yeah, it uses Kasego quite well. Definitely paints him as a tough threat, but doesn't make Kumonga seem weak in comparison. Very good banner. I like the banner. Always cool to see Kumonga with a web.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And the model that Dopo made for Tasego is really good. Yeah. There's not a lot to really say about this match because it is just like, it's pretty much mostly just a Monster A exists.
Yeah, no, I was
Monster
pretty
B
much going to
shows up.
say the
Monster A
same
and B
thing.
fight.
The match-wise, again, it's written well. There's sort of like a natural element to the fight but it's also like super bare bones, so it's hard to... It's as Birdman said, it's predictable but not boring. And there's nothing wrong with being predictable. It's like, even if you know the outcome, you know what? It's the journey there that counts as well, you know?
Yeah, there's just not a lot to say about it. It's a fine match.
It's like, oh, what a great
there's not a
twist.
lot
It's
of
like, no,
material
this
to,
is
like,
fine.
go
but
into
stuff
deep
like
dive.
this is perfectly fine. Do not be afraid to submit something that is, even if it's predictable, it's better to have it well made and make sense than to, like, try to be weirdly subversive, you know? Yes.
Yeah, don't
There's
panic
nothing,
about like just
again,
sending
we
in a
have
nice simple match of
whole
two monsters
giant
fighting.
catalog of matches that are, you know, do pretty much just that. Because that, at the core, that's what the KWC is. It's monsters fighting. That's the whole dealio. It's just that the rest of us in staff, particularly those who are regulars on the podcast, have pretty much evolved to like more complex things, like, I don't know, storytelling. Storytelling. Right.
Like some of us just aren't satisfied
Or
with
even
writing
under
a match
2,000
under
words.
3,000 words.
My gosh. Oh.
3,000's bigger than 2,000. I literally went, some of us aren't content to write matches that are under 3,000 words and go, yeah, or even under 2,000.
Lordy. Seriously, how time has gone. My goodness. But, yeah.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with a nice short simple match. Like Ditto writes matches that are
Heck
just
yeah.
like, they're mostly just two monsters fighting, and they're good stuff.
Yeah, no, never be afraid. Just get good. That's all we ask. Get good.
It's yes,
Don't
please
send-
get good.
Yeah. Just don't send us a match that makes us wonder if you understand the English. And you're good. Like, we don't have that high standards. It's just sometimes we get matches where it's like, it's 5 paragraphs. The monsters' names are used 100 times.
It's like, how? But yeah. So yeah, no.
Like, yeah, we adjusted the things.
Yeah,
you can
1,000
write.
words are
You can write
kinda
just like anything
standard.
as long as it's over
Well,
1,000 words.
It's our new standard of minimum requirements. That way, you get enough material in, and that way it's not too short. But it's short enough to be satisfactory, and it's long enough to, you know, kind of warrant reading. Because it's like, if you wind up undershooting that, then it's going to be over real quick. I get that could be difficult, but you know, once you figure out the ropes, and know where to flesh out your writing style, then yeah, no, hit 1,000 words, you're good.
Yeah, no one wants to read. No one wants to wait 10 days to read. Showa Baragon dug up out of the ground. Then Bagan walked up and kicked his head off. The end.
What are you talking about? Some people are into that kind of thing. Anyway. But yeah, no. For the match itself, no. I really like the way the monsters are utilized. I really like their behavior. It just felt very natural and very nice. Again, the lack of Sego name drop is a little weird, but I don't mind it in this case just because it's unrelated incident where, it's just like Sego's out on the hunt. Well, Kumonga just goes like, oh no. And the usage of I guess the one real, distinctive highlight I'll probably give is just the usage of for as simple as it's incorporated, I like having the little mini-me's, the second wave there, the little mini scorpions running around. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And of course, naturally leaves room to the big ones. So I was like, okay, sweet. And yeah. Yeah, no. Otherwise, though, it's like, yeah, this is a perfectly serviceable match. It is what it is. It's nice to see Dan Rogers' second match within the year. His first one being our first match of the year, Cyber Godzilla versus Mechanicon. So, hope to see more from Dan Rogers in the future because I really like his stuff. But yeah. With that said, Joe, did you read the match? Sweet. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I just read it. First of all, rest in peace to my boy Kamakarus. Dan, you're doing him dirty. Second, it was a pretty fine match. The matchup is predictable, but and the way the fight goes is also really basic, but it's pretty fun. I could see it being a small part in a movie or something. It's pretty cute. I really like the banner though. I like that Kumonga's web looks like a bunch of string.
Thank you.
And it's really cool.
Damn. Wait, it's only yellow.
Okay, so the
Final
banner actually
Wars.
sucks because
Yeah.
inaccurate Kumonga's webbing is yellow.
No, it's white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is it? I thought it was yellow in Sonic Godzilla too.
No.
Oh.
Damn. There goes GVR.
Dang,
Welcome
you
back.
suck there.
Godzilla. Wow. GPR's dead.
All because
That's it,
GVR
we're
misidentified the
hybridizing
color
Showa
Showa.
Kumonga and the Final Wars Kumonga.
Where's the piss web, damn it?
Good grief.
Well,
But,
time to piss web.
where is that name
I
even
just found
come
out one of
from?
Kumonga's
Smegor?
alternate names is Smegor.
Megor?
I don't know. I just
Wiki
one of the wiki
Zilla.
source page for
Smegor.
Kumonga, and there's two sources for it, so
Time to use that in the match.
Smegor.
Yeah, the Exilian commander is going to send them out and say, "Go Smegor."
Wait.
Then
One of their sources is
the other
TK.
Exilian-
One of their sources for Smegor is TK.
Oh wait, don't we? Doesn't
Ooh,
TK have the
yeah.
alternate, in a monster's name or something like that? That's right. That's right.
Yes.
No.
Oh, no kidding! That's
In Italy,
Italian.
the creature was known as the somewhat offbeat
Keep that in
Smegor.
mind. Italian Kumonga, Smegor, is referred to as such throughout the match. I mean, I wouldn't mind.
We need a
Italian
match in Italy
Kamunga-
now.
Italian Kamunga just has eight of those hand pinching
Classic.
things.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Joe. Did you have any additional thoughts concerning?
Okay, sorry for
332?
derailing you.
No, other than the next
Uh,
person who makes Kamunga
alright.
is gonna lose their head.
Oh.
So I'm gonna write
Anyway.
funny monkey versus spider and have both lose.
Man.
But
An
yeah.
Ultraman wins.
Ditto. What did you think of the match?
It's pretty good. It's just like what's been said before, just Monster A versus Monster B. I think it pulls it off pretty well. Yeah, I think the fight was pretty cool, and then Seigo gets the lucky strike on Kamunga. I thought it was neat. They have some Kamakuras at the beginning there, and then they die. So it's rip.
I mean, you can't have a Kumonga match without Kamakuras dying.
Yeah.
There you go.
I also like the interaction with the second
Yeah,
wave
they had time to
scorpions,
grow. Benefited.
even though they're not the right color. Let's see. And then I like the little end thing where it's like, now Kamunga would be the snack. And then the banner's really
Dope
good.
Dope.
I like the Seigo motto by Dope Dope. The webbing
Dope.
trampoline
Dope,
looks
dope.
cool.
Dope, dope. Not dope,
Yeah,
dope. That's what.
that's his thing.
No, it's dope.
That's what Bacon's hooked
Oh.
on. Dope, dope.
Whoa, whoops! I'm sorry, my bad. I thought that was. Okay. Never mind. Okay, man. Okay.
If you remember what I said about Walnut Brain,
Haha. Very
I
funny.
can. Yeah.
Anyways, I like
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Kamunga's
I tried.
the angle Kamunga's at looks a little off, but
Hey, you
that's
noticed.
just good to figure. I like the copy and pasted PNG trees in the background. And then
Oh
the
yeah,
weather
yeah.
tower, that's cool. 'cause
Holy
I don't
moly!
think that's
Yeah,
a-
no, that goes way.
Has it
back.
been in a
Holy
banner?
moly.
I think it was like in
Yes.
Gabra versus Megalon, right?
Yeah, it was in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Woo.
It's just a very nice looking banner.
Yeah, no, holy moly, we're getting some good ones.
See.
We're getting some good ones.
Yeah, I
ladies and
think it's
gentlemen.
pretty good.
Oh, whoo-hoo.
Probably one of my favorites this year.
Oh yeah. No,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
might as well
definitely tried
mention
to keep
the roster
as in
statistic
character
image.
as
That one's
possible,
pretty good too.
and just use
It looks
the
like a
effects
scene from
needed
a
to make it
movie.
look like something that
Ye-
wasn't just copy hobbled together. It was like, oh yeah, no, free, and just make it look like, yeah, no, literally a scene from a movie. And I'm glad that's what you guys see of it, because it's like, yeah, no, I wanted to make sure it was like as close to his original like episode, his debuted episode as possible. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dan Rogers has some pretty good matches so far with the
Yeah.
Zilla and Mechanicong and this one.
Alright.
And yeah,
So
looking
yeah, no,
forward
if
to
if we don't have
future
anything else to
matches.
add on, I say we probably very safely hop over from match
and
332
that's about it.
to I guess our lucky match, if you want to call it that, match 333, Monster X, Crystalak, and the Visitor versus King Caesar, Baragon Millennium, and Gorosaurus. So, yeah, 3-3. Oh yeah, 3-3-3 with 3v3. Look at that.
Having a match with 3 threes is fun.
That was not designed to be that way, I swear. Like,
Yeah.
hooray!
Cute.
Everything is 3.
We're a third of the way to match 999.
Maybe everything will be 6.
Oh lord, it's all 3s.
Quick, someone write match 666.
We're also
Yes,
halfway there,
all
match
threes.
666.
Oh, darn it.
Everything's gonna be Satan.
Because we're not allowed to use Satan in the KWC.
Oh, god damn it. Fuck.
The goddamn it is.
Yeah, mouse for
No,
Green
you
Man.
guys just need to go through Toho's dumpster.
That is a
See
requirement
if they have
now.
the devil in there.
Oh no, we
Match
need to use
666
Mal from
must
Green Man.
feature Mal from Green Man.
I'll make sure it'll be Mal controlling Destroya. Green Man just
Oh
craps
my
himself
goodness.
and dies.
Okay, yeah. Birdman, thoughts?
Anyway, thoughts?
No.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the obvious. It's a Monster X Max written by MM. What do you think was going to happen? I mean, look again. Yeah, look again. He turned it around. He subverted expectations. But honestly, that anything he does to Monster X, he subverts expectations in some way or another.
Yeah, MM do be
Yeah,
writing for Game of Thrones.
Yes. Yeah. I think I know it's like meant to be like melee and Baragons, deep or not, but you can tell they focus mainly on Monster X, and I think it works. An excellent story of Monster X, definitely. It's taking me in a direction probably no one ever considered really taking him, really, apart from maybe Grey Shot. But yeah, the acting is certainly excellent, even if Monster X still gets treated like a bitch and then treats him. Some details are a bit iffy with regards to how powers work, basically regarding how Visitor King Caesar.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it's
you know
like
what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, no, I had gone through some of
The brain
I
spasm
did
being
change
like
a
a
couple
psychic
things
attack
around
than a
because I was given a couple
concussive
of,
blast.
I passed it through my brother, who's again just the bigger, I guess like an expert when it comes to the like obscure scrap stuff, and he was like, I was like, oh, what did you think? Because I had mentally, I guess you could say, I had mentally pictured the beam came from the mouth. Because it's like, oh, it comes from the brain, it goes through, like, the skull to the mouth, and then he shoots it out. That's the way I had envisioned it. But, and that was the way this was originally written as, too. That was the way it was sort of, like, structured. But my brother made the suggestion of brain, like, brain external, he shoots it from the head. And I'm like, alright. And then the original description for the attack did very much say it was a sonic wave sort of thing. So like for Gods, comparing it to Godzilla Unleashed, it definitely would have been like, a sonic based attack. Like even if it were like purely psionic, it would have been like sonic oriented. You know what I mean? Right. Well, I think when I had read it, I was like, okay,
but
it's just meant to hurt
the
him,
match just treated
and
as a
that's
sonic
reflected
attack, and
in
it
the
affects
banner.
Caesar, who is a
Okay,
golem.
that's like, free Sonic Beam hurt big golem. It's like, I can understand where that can be a little bit weird, considering that King Caesar's a golem, not organic. I always...
that's, again, it's affecting... It's basically saying to the mass, it's affecting King Caesar's mind.
Completely... Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant. Like, it's like a
when I was
psychic attack.
remodifying it. Shoot.
On an artificial being.
Because it's not like a pushing him or anything. Like it hits
sonic
him in the
vibration
head, and he,
screwing with his internal
ears.
mechanisms there. That's
He pretty much like describes it like giving him a seizure almost. No.
You can't bypass off of your mistake so easily. It's memorized. It's memorialized forever now in words.
You can't be the people who make Star Wars expanded universe.
Yeah,
can't
no,
just
that was
look
a
your way out of
major
this one.
oversight on my part. So yeah,
No, actually, it makes sense
yeah,
because
probably
the
should have
Force
touched
lets
that up
you
when I was
do
on a
this.
shoot. Because I did read this one. I had to go back and
Do you and Brayshot even
okay,
read
so fun
MS
fact real
matches
quick.
before you upload them?
Anyone wants to read MS matches when they get them?
So this was originally like obviously Baragon Millennium is a little undershadowed because this was originally
Was
a
it at
Showa
gunpoint?
Baragon match. However, in the wake of announcing his retirement, we did ask around for the matches we had Showa Baragon for Millennium Baragons. That way we get a match out with him quicker. That's why he's not like a super big highlight here. It was meant to be Showa, but because in this case it was interchangeable, we had asked, hey, do you want to change it from Showa to Millennium? He was like, all right. Ultimately, he was like, sure. That's it. So I did give it a good look. And like I said, I did have to modify it to where the visitor shot it from the mouth to the head. So, yeah, no, I must have just completely mentally sort of must have mentally overlooked the whole King Caesar, like Rex King Caesar's mind thing. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I didn't. Because, yeah, no, I think I had mentally pictured it as what I had described to you was, or what I just said, like, semi-jokingly, was like, oh, yeah, no, sonic vibrations wreck King Caesar's internal mechanisms. It's affecting his mind. That was the way I think I had read it, so I didn't bother changing it. When I should have made that more clear. That I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is a sonic, sort of like a sonic-based attack that comes from the head, thinking of it from a more Godzilla Unleashed-y sort of standpoint. Yeah, no. Again, I did say it's an oversight. I again,
Not buying
it's been a while
it, no.
since I looked it over, and I was like, oh yeah, no, it was like it's still like solid, but still just like, yeah, no, that was an oversight on my part. My apologies. I'll try and keep an eye on it closer in the future. Move on. All right. We're recording this right now. Of course, it's never gonna die.
No, Kaiju, the past will never die.
No, 720p.
Yeah. You've been
Gosh.
caught in 4K.
Anyway. Yeah.
More like 720p.
But anyway, Birdman, did you have any other thoughts? Like,
If
on the
Bacon
match,
was here, it would be
banner, et cetera?
144p because of his audio.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, your banner. I guess it's quite alright. I can't probably say it's probably one of your best works.
Okay, that's fair.
Kaiju. It does look a bit
Don't
awkward in
you
some
understand?
places.
It's symbolic of the divide.
Namely,
Where he'll go.
T-pose and Monster X in the middle.
Yes.
You kids go to keep throwing excuses
Kind
out.
of semi was actually. It's like it was semi meant to be sort of reflective.
No,
of
guys,
that.
you understand
And
it was
plus, I
intentional
didn't
from the
want
start.
Because the only other renders I think that were accessible, immediately accessible, were the one that's used all the time in the KWC. I'm like, I did not want to use that again. I definitely wanted to go for something different. So I knew from the get-go I wanted Monster X square in the middle because it was like this is his match. So it makes sense to do that.
Like I said, story was certainly interesting. Certainly kept my attention going. I really wasn't sure if Monster X was going to win at the start, but as it went on, I did figure out where he might be going. I certainly was surprised it went that way because he said his character, you certainly think of only doing one thing and that's it. You don't see him as a think of where like whoever did something else with them, whoever took them in the direction you didn't expect. And again, if they this ends up being continued, I'd still like to see where the story ends up going, if there is a sequel in mind.
Right. I think he had posted in the forum something else.
Yeah. Again, assuming
Yeah.
like Eminem
Yeah,
actually
he
listens
had
to this.
posted in the forums that he had plans to continue this, and I think, likewise too, they're I'm not going to say what it is.
Yeah, he said he
Let's
has
just
plans to
say
continue this.
we already have the
okay.
other match that accompanies this one.
Okay, I get a moment's word, I guess.
So anyway, GVR, what'd you think of the match?
Right, well, I've said my thoughts.
It was fine. The action was solid. I like the twist with Monster X, even if I felt like it could have been built up a bit more. Let's see here. Yeah, no, like very solid match. Definitely subverted expectations. Even if you could tell where it was going, like once you reached a certain point. And what else? The banner's fine. Does look a bit off. Just like with lighting.
All that.
Also, the visitor looks like he's a mile tall.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. For me, I really like this match a bit. It's like granted,
I don't really
it's
have
like
much else to say.
Like, I'm glad to know that there's at least a little more. At least there's going to be a little more that goes on. Hopefully, maybe if it all gets paid off one day. But it's like even by itself though, I do like this one actually more so than some of his other stuff. Granted, I think obviously the twist is like once it becomes pretty evident what the twist is, it's like that's sort of like it's one big trick. Like one thing that's like, oh, it gotta be twisty, sort of thing. I didn't mind it here. I do agree it could have been built up more, but it's like I didn't mind it here. This is probably one of the few matches where even if every MM match is pretty much twist, this is one where I think the twist better complements the nature of, I guess the story within the match. So I didn't mind it here. I think this one's perfectly fine. And a lot of the action I think is like, it's on point. It's perfect fine. I think it represents the monsters real well. A little bit of modification, one oversight later. And here we are. I have to say, banner-wise, it may not be the one that meshes the best, relatively speaking. I think for me, the one the most off is Crystalak, but that can't be helped. What are you gonna do? Commission a full 3D model of Crystalak? It's like, that he's limited without unnecessary spending, if that makes sense. I will say, I had a blast trying to friggin' get the visitor's beam. That was a lot of fun to do. Holy moly. Ugh. Oh, there were a lot. You could imagine there was probably a lot of friggin' effects that I had to go through and friggin' make sure that it was all oh my goodness. That took a while, but hot dang, I have a blast doing it. That was a lot of fun. I really liked making the beam for this. I've forgotten how. I know it was made completely from scratch. All of it's the main beam is all custom elements, but I can't remember what patterns I used to pull it off. Because my goodness, that was that was something. That was definitely something. Ooh, but other than that though, nothing too crazy relative to an MM match. So it's I think it's fine. Nagoda, since you are here, what'd you think of match 333?
Well, one thing, I'm surprised Monster X didn't die in some way, considering who wrote this. The banner looks pretty nice. I like how Monster X is centered there and in the middle, because he's the main character of this one, apparently.
Shockwave hit on
I like the beam being shot by the visitor, and I was creating a smoke effect on King Caesar.
Yeah, because he can actually glow. It's easy to forget that. He has like a million other particle effects too, but I didn't feel like it.
Yeah. Plus, Crystalak is glowing. Wait, the sudden change from like evil and then breaking free from like his evil rulers to like just live on this planet is just different. It's nice because it's something that no one else has done yet, or at least for Monster X.
All right. Yeah. No. If that was all you, was that everything you wanted to say, man, or was that pretty much it? Okay. Joe, what'd you think of the match?
Is anyone else gonna go, or are we just gonna sit here in silence? Yeah, that was everything.
I kind of like it for an M&M match. I like the twist with Monster X. I think it really does show that this was gonna be Showa Baragon, and for an introduction to Millennium Baragon, it's not a great introduction to him, but it's a good way to.
I did want to
have
I did want to just touch on because like Baragon, I wasn't
Monster
overly
X.
concerned because of the way we're sort of treating Baragon as like an upgraded Showa in a lot of ways. It's like to me, we were just literally like, you know, Showa gets phased out, Millennium's brought in, and Millennium more or less could just fulfill the role of Showa more or less. So it's like, thanks to, you know, GMK lore and whatnot, it's like, okay, that gives us material to expand into that doesn't contradict like what's in the film or whatever. So in this instance, it's like, yeah, no, I didn't mind leaving Millennium Baragon to be more like, you know, he could just be off to the side. We're just bringing him in to make sure that he has matches to come, you know, as opposed to let's give him a highlight, like, because highlight matches just, you know. I think, granted, you want to make a strong first impression, but I think in this case, it's Baragon is Baragon. I think most people will know who he is, especially those that read around here. So it's like, I don't think there was a need to really give him a super highlight. I'm sure he'll get his highlight match down the road to, you know, set him apart and whatnot. So that's just my take of it.
I like when Monster X is pulling the thingy out. That was pretty gross, pretty cool. And not too much else to say besides I really like the twist, and
but yeah,
I hope this is a
you.
new turn
Thank
for
you.
him.
And Ditto, what'd you think of the match?
Banner's also really good.
I thought it was okay. I mean, yeah, Monster X still gets dunked on by the controller, but I thought the twist, like him becoming good, was just okay. I mean, I'd rather would have seen like this happen over the course of a couple matches, and then instead of just in one match where now all of a sudden he just decides to be good because he's sick of it. I would rather that be more like a multi-match thing. But it's interesting to see where, like, if you'll have some kind of rivalry with King Caesar or whatever. Yeah, I thought it was weird because it's like,
Yeah.
I think there's one part of the match where it says like Crystalak and Visitor were bred for like war, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel Monster X is kind of the same way.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
I mean,
That's fair.
Like, I just don't see him just all of a sudden just having a down day and just want to, you know, change sides. But that's just me. Overall. Yeah, it was kind of for Millennium Baragon, it was just he's there. Nothing really drawing too much attention because it is focused on Monster X, and you know it just happens to introduce Millennium Baragon. Yeah, the fight was neat. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with Joe. Him X pulling out the chip or whatever That was pretty neat. And then, yeah, the banner is, like you said, some things mesh, some kind of don't. The beam from Visitor looks cool, but the angle it's hitting King Caesar at looks kind of weird.
Bless you.
Uh,
I think so.
I'm like
yeah.
99% sure Crystal Eye is in the exact same position at the exact same pose as he's in the match 308. I think it's Crystal Eye versus Gomera. He's like in the exact same position. That was pretty funny.
Yes.
Plain.
Yeah, that is a sprite from Trading Battle.
Yeah, me. Is King Caesar a sprite from the Trading Battle game? Because I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Because he looks so weird. Okay.
You will never take away
sticks
from
out
my
to me, and I was like,
Godzilla
something's off
Trading
about
Battle
this
sprite.
Caesar. But yeah, okay. Yeah, Monster X is in the center.
Yeah, no, looking at it now, I see it too. I'm like, oh, son of a gun, he's got that white.
Looking at Monster X, he's got some crust around him.
Yeah. Also, I know you wanted to use a different render, but like, I've suggested using that render before as a joke, just because it looks so just like, Mom, I threw up.
Mom, I shit my pants in the middle of the supermarket.
Like, it's the way he's just standing there, arms in an A pose.
Oh. He's got some crust in his pants.
Like, it does not look... At least the render that every single Monster X match ever uses looks threatening.
At least.
Yeah, no.
Then I agree with GBR. The Visitor
looking
is like
at
a
it now,
mile
it's like,
high
yeah,
in the
no, maybe I should have
background.
shrunk it,
Yeah.
but I didn't
And I
want to
guarantee
make
you,
him
if he walked
invisible,
into the
but I also didn't
forefront, he
want
would be
to,
towering over everyone. They'd be up to his ankle.
It wasn't working that way.
You could put him closer.
You could put it.
Yep.
He's behind a mountain.
I see some Exilian ships. That's pretty cool.
I added that actually because originally, I think originally that was all land, but it was not cooperating.
I like the
with these. I was
water.
like, you know
It's like
what?
raging.
You know, it'd be cool.
Did you
Raging
add that, or
water.
was
So I
that
took,
like a part of the
a,
thing?
like a roar, like a rushing river, and just sort of like cleaned out all the parts I didn't need.
That's it's an okay banner compared to the Sega one. But yeah. I mean, I'm kind of interested to see where this goes, but I was like, all right. It was nice seeing him win. That was neat.
And I think with that said, if
yeah, that's pretty much it. Not a whole lot to say, I guess.
Yeah, no. With that said, we'll migrate over from from match 333 to Nagoda. Real quick, since you just joined, what'd you think of 332? What were your thoughts and thoughts on that?
Oh, 332. That was a fun match. Got to see like a big spider fight a big scorpion. And then the big spider dies to the big scorpion because it forgets it's a scorpion.
Whoa, good.
Plus, I like the use of the is it the third wave or the second
wave?
It's the second wave.
I mean, the point is we don't
There's no
see
third
third wave. That's the point he's trying to make.
Fifth wave.
You never know. There could be a third wave, and the third wave just be like some other creature.
Oh yeah, especially once I discovered Scorpio and Handstand Claw. That's gonna be fun.
But yeah, that is, to say go, is gonna be a fun monster to use. The banner also looks pretty neat as well.
Yeah, no, anything else, man? Or all right, but yeah, we'll hop over from that to the most recent KWC as of this time, match 334. Kaiju
that's about it.
versus Kamibus. Written by Andrew Sudomersky and Matthew Freese, with wonderful banners by Dao Zhang Hua and Matthew Williams. Ooh boy.
Yeah.
Hey.
So with that said, we'll
Also known as
Birdman.
Nagoda and Soul Godzilla.
Wow.
Oh, that's certainly an amazing piece. I think you managed to create an interesting alternate take on the events of Yamato Takeru. I think you've got a way of like making such amazing pieces with like lesser known stuff.
Sukanoa, yeah.
Again, I've personally never seen Yamato Takeru, so I can't say I'm really familiar with Sukinoa. Sukinoa, I thought that was it. I can't say if you're familiar with him, but the way he's handled, like you see it, like he is not the good guy. He is, but they can't really say. And the way it's handled between Sukinoa and Yog is very clear from the start that there is like no lesser two eagles. They're both two halves of the same, but the two halves are distinctly different. It's mystery, it's magic versus science, which is superior. Again, I have to applaud you and oh god, who was it again?
Me.
I don't know who me is.
GVR.
GVR, thank you.
GVR.
Yeah, I applaud you, GVR, for your efforts in detailing the fight between the two. Considering in my head, there probably isn't too much you could do with Kashimuba, but you managed to make him a threatening presence, and I applaud you for that. Banners, I'm going to say I do prefer Nagodas over Soul Godzillas. The way it like actually blends in that bit of the match where like the two have their own distinct glows, like that makes it looks beautiful and eye catching at the same time. I asked threatening
first
image
because
on the banner.
No, that's right. That goes into the whole history. Okay, I'll explain it later.
Okay, like I said, it's an amazing match. Probably my I wouldn't say it's my favorite like Nukoa debut this year, but I'll have to double check on that one. I'm probably forgetting a match.
It's up there at least, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It's okay. It's a close second, next to 330.
Understandable. Kaiju knocked it out of the park with that one.
Oh, this one's gonna have a continuation. That one. Let me put.
I certainly hope to see if you've got any more plans to continue this one.
Rest
so
assured,
you like have a habit of like
one. If you want to be
setting things
technical,
up and never
it's already
continuing
partly
them.
written.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I have Nagoda there too. Not fully planned out. We just got a rough
And planned.
Yeah. We got a rough idea. It's all subject to change and whatnot. So we'll see.
Well, it's not fully planned out, but
yeah, he's our
rough idea
consultant.
Yeah, it's me and Kaiju writing it, but we just like asked Nagoda to come in and help with like ideas for it.
He's the credit basically.
Oh yeah.
Yes, rest assured, the closer to this one is not just an empty cliffhanger. There is something to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a little bit more adamant.
I had actually wanted to make I had actually wanted to make the ending like more clear on what's to come.
For any reason it doesn't work out, then hey, at least it's vague enough to where we could just take it in whatever direction we want. We definitely didn't want to completely set ourselves up just in case it didn't happen, though I think with the way things are sort of heading, it is going to happen sooner than later. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. All will make sense in time.
We live in a world where parody articles are becoming a reality.
Yes,
nothing makes
sense.
Only very few things will.
I know that must be hard for you to believe.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want.
GVR, do you go next, or do you want, like,
Purple Man?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. Like, obviously, you'll be able to provide, like, the full history of this one, but I'll be able to, like, I'll at least say what I did. I'm happy with this match as is. Was very glad to be part of this.
Yes, I think that was.
Kaiju asked me to come on and help him with this because he was struggling to figure out certain things. I believe part of it was just like how to have a good fight between Kaishin and Kamibus.
All right, everyone, it's official. Whenever you have trouble with a match, go to GVR.
I'm not going to complain.
I'm gonna take ticket. I'm probably gonna need him.
I'm always available unless I'm not.
Damn.
But yeah, so I wrote the part of Kukunoa initially finding Yog, and then wrote most of the battle. I wrote out the battle, like a full battle between them, but then Kaiju X came in and altered part of it. Mostly the part of Kamibus, like, extending his neck all the way out, biting Kaishin, and then springing himself into Kaishin. Because, like, as I had written the fight, it didn't have a lot of Kamibus's, like... It had him stretching his neck out, of course, because that's the only way he can freaking fight. But it didn't have, like, the
Did you say
full-on...
neck or dick?
A dick neck, if you would.
And to do something crazy with
Yeah,
that,
no, like, I had
so,
Kamibus stretching his neck out, but, like, Kaiju X was like, I want to have
it was like the
Kamibus's
one
neck
scene I
stretch
had
out
in
to his
mind
full
personally
body
that I was
length,
like,
because
oh
that's
yeah,
what
that'd be cool for
Greyshot
Kamibus
said
to
was,
do,
like,
but
the
I couldn't
limit for
figure out
Kamibus.
how to properly write, like, Muba and Kamibus fighting in a nice dynamic way, even though water is, like, totally there, so the way they fight would be different compared to their land counterparts, so...
But, ever since Kaiju X started uploading Kaiju X didn't upload them, but ever since, like, the updated bios for Yamato Takeru were uploaded to TK, I've been really interested in the Yamato Takeru characters and monsters. I'm super proud of two things in this match. The first one is,
yeah, I think I had, like, a template,
Sugunoa
like,
himself.
written out.
I was written,
I had,
his
like,
conversation
story
with Yog
beats in
is what I
mind,
mean.
but you
Because I wrote all the conversations between him and Yog. But yeah, like, you just had, like, outlined, like, they talk, but the sort of general outline
that is
of
all
what I
right.
said.
Has
But, like,
everyone
I
here read
fleshed
this
out the
match?
actual
Okay,
dialogue.
good.
And what I'm also proud of is the kill on this one. I'm going to talk about spoilers now for this match. What I'm also super proud of is the kill for this one. Kaishin grabbing Kamibus by the head and just, like, pulling his neck out until it breaks. Oh yeah, like right after Kaishin bit off Kamibus's face.
Yeah, within this movie. Mm-hmm.
Well, because we don't really get to see Kaishin do much in the actual movie, just because, like, the only thing he fights are two people, and he's just trying to drag someone under. So I got a bit more creative with Kaishin's attacks, and he's got those big old teeth. So,
he definitely is.
Happy with this one. I hope it gave a lot of
sad because
people
it's like even
an idea of how to
the
write
others, I
Kaishin,
think he's like the most underrated one. I think
gave them
he's the one that's the most
inspiration to write with
overlooked.
Kaishin because he's a very interesting
turns
Kaiju.
out, like, especially and like especially thanks to the Toho Kingdom overhaul, like.
Well, because he's not part of the big final battle, and he's also hasn't been part of the
learned
KWC
about
since
him
its beginning.
Of Muba that made him a lot more respectable. I think it's like makes him respectable more on par with his like compatriots. And, just sort of learning, like, more of the doodads of Muba, like, how he's basically just low-key GMK Godzilla, of, like, being a manifestation of, like, dead spirits and whatnot. I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, the movie definitely didn't make that clear, could roll with it. And, yeah, this one was, this one was really interesting. Because it's like, I had... Originally, when I had written this match, it was just me solo. I had intended it to be just me solo. And originally the match was very different. I had went to Seoul first to make the banner, but at the time it was Orochi and Kaishin Muba versus... Okay, hold on. Let me backtrack more. So, alright. We had the happy accents that called themselves Match 20, Kumasugami versus Gizora, and then Match 284, Atsuno Ikuzugami versus Ganymes. I had purposefully wanted to complete the trio of having Kamibus and or Kaishimuba and or Orochi. I definitely had those. Yog versus Yamato Takeru, which is like, the whole dealio with sort of a trifecta, if you will. And then in the first iteration of this,
Yog
it
versus
was
Yamato
meant to
Takeru,
be
basically.
Orochi and Kaishimuba versus. I think a lot, like, some of the elements do, like, Tsukuyomi was originally more. I'm not going to go into too much detail because elements of the, like I said, it's partially written out. Elements of the original draft do carry over into the next match. Obviously retooled to better suit what we have in mind, but nevertheless, those elements are repurposed into the follow-up we have in mind. But yeah, no, I had asked Sol, hey, can you make the banner for that? He did. You should be seeing it now, provided I was smart enough to do that. And damn. So it's like I told him to make that. He did. Looked great. I think it started with Orochi solo, then added Muba, and then
You probably aren't.
like, you know. And then it was like partway in, I was like, I finally got to the Kaishimuba part where they gestate in the water. I'm like, ooh, this is great. And then I lost inspiration because I was like, how am I supposed to make Kaishimuba versus Kamibus an entertaining fight knowing full well that Orochi was coming? I had a twist in mind. I had a very interesting twist that it's still present here in a different sense. I think it was closer to Yog. It was closer to Yog Orochi.
Well, I mean,
versus
we already talked
Kaishin.
about spoilers, so I
think that was my
the original plan was going to be Yog
Of course,
Kaishin versus
I didn't
Orochi.
follow through with it because after I think talking with you about it and among other things, it was sort of like, yeah, no, Orochi would probably just crush Yog with his mind or something. So I was like, yeah, yeah, he's kind of a...
Yeah, Orochi's kind of a god. Not like Mothra type god, but like literally...
Basically, the original plan was...
Yeah, divinely
the twist I had in
ordained
mind
by
why
the
I only stuck with one
His
Kamibus,
parents
because there was just
literally
one Kamibus, even
were
after
created
we were
by the
given
Big
green
Bang.
light to write with multiple, was that Yog was going to possess one of the monsters, and then Muba would have done the... Like, I think the original plan I had is that Sukunoa was going to backstab Tsukuyomi and then use Kaishimuba to basically erase him from existence. That was the original plan. So because you know, Kaishimuba requires an offering, and then once he has that offering, he sort of disappears with it. So I was gonna have that with Tsukuyomi. That was the original twist I had in mind. But then it was like, yeah, no, literally having Orochi looming meant that, like, Kamibus was not going to shine. Like, I don't think he would have shined as well had Orochi been there. So I scrapped it, repurposed it, and I still ultimately got what I wanted by having Kaishimuba get rid of Yog by making itself vanish, you know. And I think it works out. It works out a lot better here because it's like, yeah, no, you see the principal ideas and how things are set up with Kaishimuba, how you utilize them, how, you know, his magic system stuff works and all that. So I hope, like, you know, all that's clear, all that's, like, you know, all that's good to go. Then as far as banners went, I had asked Sol again. When I had removed Orochi, I told him, it's like, hey man, could you make another banner, just Kaishimuba and Kamibus? And then it basically led to this one. It had a slightly different background, like a more sunny background, but once we got Nagota's version pretty much in line, it was like, oh yeah, no, just change the background to something darker. That's why Matthew Williams' banner is a lot simpler, because I didn't give him much instruction. I didn't think to give him much instruction. That one's entirely on me. So the simplicity of his banner is closer to, like, no, probably would have been more dynamic had I told him the same thing I would told Nagota. It's like, you know, make them both glowing, you know, they're gestating, like, based on that one scene that we get. It was like, yeah. So that was probably one of my favorite scenes to write too, was the birth of Kamibus and Kaishimuba. That was great. Oh my goodness, that was like, I knew that needed to happen, no matter what. I was like, yep, and I think it turned out really well. So I'm pretty sure you guys are comprehending all this in my inane old man ramblings.
Joe's like,
yeah,
what's
no,
a
like,
Yamato taco?
Yeah, no, this match definitely had a couple of, like, sort of, like, jumps, if you will, from conception to where it is. But, yeah, no, I'm still really happy with how this turned out. GVR, thank you so much for actual fighting portion, because my goodness, aside from that one Kamibus body slam trick, I could not conjure up anything that felt interesting or dynamic. The words were just not coming to me. Ooh. So, holy moly. That is... Yeah, no, it's like everything else I had, like, decently solid, but it's like, here it was just like, the fighting. It was the actual fighting. It was like, this is what people paid for. They pay their internet service provider to read KWCs. Anyway. But yeah, no. Other than that, though, it's like, yeah, no, had a blast getting this one set up. Super happy that it's Kaiju Muba's debut, because it's like, hey, here are all his functions. This is how he does things. This is the way we cut. You know, setting things up for everyone else to be like, okay, I get this. You know. And yeah, so super dope. Super excited to see where this goes. To see what comes next, I should say, because again, because I had repurposed from the original Orochi and Kaiju Muba versus Kamibus match, all of Tsukuyomi's scenes are like the next one's going to feature Orochi. That's all out. Yeah. So in a way, we are is a low-key sequel of a Yog versus Yamato quadrilogy.
Yeah, that's no surprise.
Where you could say that Orochi fights Yog itself. But who is the opponent? That will remain to be seen. We are obviously... Yes, Maguma. Thank you, GVR, for spoiling the big plan where where Yog goes to possess a walrus and becomes Maguma.
Maguma.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
Well, no, KWCC, it's
great.
also a sequel to Match 155.
Oh my goodness.
It'll be revealed that the whole time Maguma was actually possessed by Yog during that match.
Oh yeah, no, it totally lines up with what I had in mind. Oh yeah, all Sukanoa had to do was go to an island and find his master there. He wandered all of the earth, yet he never found the island? How could he?
Yeah. The master just taking the bus.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. The brilliant counterintuitive plan.
Well, no, when Black Moth was going to go communicate with all the world's armies, Sukanoa was going to hear about it.
Oh my gosh. But yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, no, look forward to the sequel to this.
So,
just from what has been outlined, it's going to be something.
Really fun. I like how, like, it starts with like Tsukinoa stealing the sword of Dark Clouds. I don't know what the other name for it is, but like he steals back Tsukuyomi's sword for him, and he just waits on the battleship island. And I like how like he just does not understand what Yog is when it's there, because it's just this big glowing amoeba thing that's just there. That's it. Like, it's sentient and everything like that, and it's just so weird looking that it's kind of hard for people to understand what that is. Like, it's just a big moving sludge thing that can possess you. Plus, I like the formation scene where like the two monsters are actually forming, and then like that's a nice scene right there. And all the dialogue with Yog. Yeah. We usually don't get Yog talking to people.
Yog is usually there to perpetuate the monster
It's
stuff.
Usually just he's there. He makes the monster.
Especially not a lot
that's
of
it.
heavy dialogue. Like,
yeah, it's usually
11,
and
for
then
example,
Gizori
like,
is here now.
He's there. He still speaks, but he's not given to like a heavy amount of like dialogue. Like, he is there to perpetuate the whole mass army of Gizori's, Ganimuses, Kamibuses, and that.
Yeah, you know, in the movie, I haven't actually watched the movie, but doesn't he like have a whole rant at the protagonist, so he like reveals what he is?
Yeah, you did.
Yog? Oh yeah, Yog does. Like, he is like the conqueror of worlds or something like that. Didn't I make a clip of it? I mean,
I heard that, Joe.
So yeah, it was really nice to give Yog a more prepped up like actual like heavy dialogue with another character sort of thing. That was really nice. So the whole like back and forth banter of like his sort of like philosophies, if you will. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Holy moly! So look forward to when that's expanded on, because ooh boy. But yeah, Nagoda, did you have anything more to elaborate on, or?
Oh, sorry. I was just going over the Yogg clip, like Yogg the Astral Quasars. But yeah, like this one was fun.
One of my favorite little details.
Like plus like how
Kaishin Muba, like possessed by Yogg.
What's his name? Tsukinowa beats Yogg in the end.
And then Free is just like, yeah, no, the beam just destroys the Yogg body just because it's like it's all one being. That body does not matter. That was great.
That was the intention. That was the intention when I wrote that. Just like, Yogg does not care about its own form because it's like they are all one.
Oh yeah, plus like the scene where Yogg tries to take over Tsukinowa, but then he's just like, nope, lightning. But yeah, this one is really fun.
Yeah,
plus I like Soul's banner. It's simple, but it looks menacing.
Banner Nagoda, where it's like nice, dark, it's got, for as simple as it is, it's got decent atmosphere. So,
like mine is they're forming, and then his is they're rising up from the depths.
Yes.
Anyway.
Also, we need more pictures for Amoebus.
Hell yeah! Speaking of which,
a lot
Joe,
of monsters
what do
actually
you think
need
of
more pictures.
the match?
They should make an SH Monster Arts Comoebus. I didn't read it.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think of the banner?
It looks good. They both look really good.
Aw, best of both worlds.
I like all the effects on Nagoda's banner.
So, and once again,
like
another my gosh,
like
another 3D banner I had commissioned from
Soul's
Dope Pope years ago. I think that we have been sitting on. I think that one's been sitting on the docket since like 2016. I think, especially because Greyshot has plans with them. So I was like, oh yeah, no, he was happening sooner or later. It just no one got around.
Kaishin's been like on the
but
to be added
Glad
list
we
for
waited,
forever.
Because boy, that yeah, no, that freaking TK update, all that research was holy moly, that was crazy.
Later.
Yeah, we had a few issues with like previous Kaishin Muva matches getting rejected because they pretty much wrote him as just like
more supernatural
an actual god of the sea, like Manda.
Simple sea creature. He is not.
When no, he's a demon almost, made of the souls of lost sailors.
Right. So there, Kaishin Muba's one whose heart will not be swayed. He is pretty much our GMK Godzilla.
He's also not a good guy. Like, you need dark magic to make him exist.
I think that area could be a little flexible, in my opinion. I think. Does
Kaishin Muva need to be summoned by a wizard, or can it just be like a bunch of souls coalescing on their own?
Wait, so if he's formed from like all the dead spirits from that area, do you think he could technically steal all the spirits from GMK Godzilla?
But those are different spirits.
They're still spirits that died at sea.
They're soldiers.
Exactly. Soldiers who died at sea.
And what are Kaishin Mubas? Your average Joe that died of a cheeseburger choke?
I mean, it explains his pot belly.
Can you imagine GMK Godzilla just being fueled by people who died from cheeseburgers?
No wonder he's fat.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, it's just trying to destroy all
granted, it
fast
doesn't need
food
to be
restaurants.
specifically that, but in the original, like in the translations we got, it was basically those who died at
Kaishin
sea.
Muva is made out of the
That's
souls
what
of sailors.
it says.
Oh.
Yeah, especially from like medieval Japan or whatever. So it's like, no,
Well, it's just like,
not
generally,
unreasonable. It's just
when you have
basically
a
those
bunch
who
of
died
dead
at sea. That's
people
the
at
important
sea,
part.
they're usually sailors?
Exactly. So yeah, either way, this is not a good guy. He is a pure bad guy through and through.
All those Mongol ships that died at sea.
The only hero, the only good combatant from the hero we have is Utsuno.
Yeah.
But Utsuno makes up for it because he is literally powered by justice. I'm not kidding. He literally absorbs justice energy from the cosmos. What exactly space justice energy is, I'm not sure. I don't know,
but
maybe
yeah,
it's made up of
Ditto.
like all
What
the
do you think
good
of the
acts
match?
people do
My
across the
apologies
universe.
for going on a tangent there for a second about space
Yeah,
justice.
your mother.
It was good. Let's see.
I thought
I
you
thought
were
it
just gonna
was-
stop talking. It was good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I like the wizard guy and the Yogg conversation. That was back and forth. Witty banter. That was cool. And then Yogg gets fed to ghosts, and then he dies. But there's more Yogg out there, and they're like,
He's-
"Oh, hey, there's like this big dragon."
I
thing.
was about to say
Maybe
he's
we made
played
a
the part of
mistake,
Bacon
guys.
today because he's not here.
Why does York sound like a stoner?
Because I'm like on the verge of falling asleep.
Damn.
Yeah, I like almost fell asleep.
Ditto, go to bed.
No, man, it's 2 in the morning, afternoon.
2 in the morning, afternoon.
Yes. Anyways,
It's either
The fight.
AM or PM. I don't know. I don't care.
yeah. The fight itself was pretty brutal, like you said. Kamiba's got his face blown off and then ripped apart. Fatality. Oh, I liked when Yogg was like, "Ha, you thought we lost," but then like it enters Kaishin Muba's body. So I thought that was really cool. And it had me for a second there. I thought Yogg was gonna win. Well, I guess the win would have been Kaishin Muba since he killed Kamibas. Either way, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it reminded me of like Baby Vegeta from Dragon Ball GT, how it just enters into wounds and
Yeah,
takes
that was
control of you.
definitely another element I was
adds you to that
keen on
collective.
having. There was
So
no
that was cool.
instance of the Yogg guys.
It's nice to
winning
see all
in
the
this
Yogg monsters
matchup.
lose to
I
all
was
the
like, I
Yamato
absolutely
guys.
want to be sure Kamibas lost.
There was a few times where I was like, "Oh no, Kamibas is gonna win, and Kaiju X is gonna break the cycle," but then no, Kaishin Muba won, so that was cool. And I like how this one has pretty much the most story, because Gazura versus Kumasugami had nothing, and then Utsuno versus
Yeah, I would say
Ganymede's had some.
Right, as far as that,
but
yeah,
then
that
this one,
formula goes, it was
it's
like
really
I definitely
story
wanted to be
driven
more
and has a lot to
I think in a way
pick
you could
apart.
say the fact that this one has more story is a break
It's a
in the
pretty good
cycle because
match.
it's like, yeah, the other two were just super simple matches at their core. This one has a little bit more going on in there, and I wanted to make sure it was at least the longest of, like, the unexpected long one of the bunch, you know?
Oh yeah.
There is an actual fight.
Well, yeah. The other break in the cycle is the fact that in this one, Kamibas actually does something to his opponent. And whereas Kumusagami versus Gazora, the shortest match we have, Gazora does nothing. Like the closest to tension in that match is Kumusagami being like, "Oh crap, I might be breaking into the ocean. Time to stop playing around." And then he kills Kuzora. And then there's Utsuno versus Ganymedes, where it's God fighting a crab.
He's trying his fucking best, you bitch.
It is a mutant crab fighting the god of war combined with the god of the sun.
He tried his best.
Thank you.
It was a pretty good match.
More or less modern
Kaiju
day,
X
yeah.
and
Yeah, it
PBR.
is set in the modern day. Yeah. The beginning
Yeah.
part is around the past.
Oh,
but
does this
the,
take place like in the modern
yeah,
day
no,
or
everything?
like in
Yes.
Because I mean,
past?
Gunka Bajira, Gunkanjima. Gunkanjima is a more modern. Yeah. Classic.
Jima?
Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, no, Gunkanjima is like a more
Gunkajima.
modern artifact. So it's like
Dunkachino?
post World War II. More to call it was portable.
Yeah.
Or like around World War II. So it's like even if it weren't set in modern day, it still would have been the like post World War, 20th century at minimum. So it's like, yeah, no, but Very beginning, yeah. Well, at least that's how I interpreted it. Or that's how I wrote it, yeah.
Wait, the beginning was in the past? Okay, well,
But you wrote it.
No, Kaiju X wrote it. Yeah, it's just
Right.
like that. I did not get that feeling at all.
mean,
like
guess
I thought he
there is
just
that. Though
like
I do specify
I thought
the
that was still
spellcaster,
like the
the
modern
warrior,
day
and the priestess,
relatively.
who were meant to be the
And just like
characters
the people
from
guarding the
Yamato
sword.
Takeru.
In the modern day, he killed.
Right. Yeah, no. I point being, it could, okay, you know what? By that logic, that could be
Well, it just
any
seemed
time
like
in
archetypes.
the past. Could be the past 100 years, past
Like they were
1,000
revealing the same
years. Who
archetypes of the
knows?
Yamato Takeru characters, but
I'm
they
not
weren't
too
actually
stingy.
that.
The point is, he gets the sword.
Well,
I guess, yeah. Well, I think even the
okay. Look,
you know
unless the
what?
match
The
says
previous
like
the previous
later,
draft had
I'm
made it
gonna
more
assume
clear
just, like,
that beginning portion
same
was
week.
clearly like thousands of years ago, because there was a whole dialogue between Sukunoa and Tsukuyomi, about that. And I think that's even present in the sequel. Like, I still have that there, so that is meant to be inferred. That was like, oh yeah, so
I mean, I just assumed that like he was waiting a long time because Gunkanjima Island is kind of more industrial Japan.
point
So
being, yeah, no. Once again,
Well, it's
me
not like they
being
bulldozed
unclear
the
with certain
shrine
things, certain
at some point.
basic things I had said. I was like, oh yeah, no, this
Yeah, probably.
thing, and then I was like, oh, no. Yamato Takeru is not dead. Who he had killed at the beginning were the like the shrine protectors.
also, did he
You know,
kill Yamato
Genbu,
Takeru?
friggin' the guy with the cane and the priestess. Yeah, the helpers. Yeah.
Oh, so like his helpers.
Yeah, he
Okay.
killed the secondary characters. That was the.
Yeah, Yamato.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
like
those
the
poor
dude killed
helpers.
the main characters, but I guess
Yeah, I
not.
thought
he
that
kinda
too
did.
because it's like
He
killed
a
the secondary main
spellcaster.
He didn't kill Goku, but he killed Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien.
Dang. Yeah, and Banner's pretty cool. I like Nagota's the best because it like has that bioluminescent stuff
Mhm.
from Yog and that spiritual glow from Kaishin.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And then Souls is good. It does give off that like size difference, menacing, like the monstrous form versus a turtle. And yeah, I think it works pretty well together. Let's see. Yeah, did I say Yog being fed to this ghost?
That's
That
magic
was
for you.
pretty cool. Because then it's like goes into it's physically impossible. It defies the laws of physics and all that.
So.
And I was like,
You
yeah, it's
bet.
magic.
You bet.
That's pretty neat. And then
Yes.
yeah,
Well, and
it continues. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward
just
to
in
that.
case that happens, the other one just continues it, right?
It shall continue unless one of us dies.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But Kaiju X, I don't know what the notes for your thing are. If you get hit by a meteor, I can't continue it.
It would just be like AI, the Steven Spielberg.
I mean, I guess I could, but it won't be your vision exactly.
It'll be the GPR version.
All right, but yeah. Did we?
Steven Spielberg, yes, Kaiju X.
I think I just said Steven Spielberg.
This motherfucker just say Steven Spielberg.
2 in
died?
the morning
Okay,
after.
Ditto.
What?
You cut out for a second, like you.
Yeah, I know. That's,
I
yeah, I heard like.
blaming it. It's 2 in the morning afternoon where he is.
But yeah, no. Dick blasted.
Yeah, I heard like a
wait,
weird
does
Does
ping,
anyone else
and
have
I
anything
figured
to
something
say
went
concerning
wrong.
334? Or
Well, like your
all right.
penis.
With that said, we will go on to our last match. Last match for the session,
No.
and that is Godzilla 2000 versus the Witherstorm on the KWCE front. If I wasn't clear on that, we didn't add Godzilla 2000 to the KWC. What are you talking about? But yeah,
No, we didn't add the
what the
Witherstorm to the
KWC
by
KWC.
Fat Bacon Unicorn, and we'll start from the top once again. Birdman, did you read it?
I'd say no.
GVR, what'd you think of it?
It was okay. It was okay. I don't have a lot to really say on it because it's a very short match. That is like the major criticism I have is just like it goes by too quickly for my taste.
Mhm.
But like it's fine. The action's fun. Godzilla in Minecraft is a fun concept, and it's used well enough to justify it. Yeah, it's one of Bacon's older matches. It was like the second KWCE he ever wrote, and like you can tell while reading
Yeah,
it that
I would have to echo like very
it's
similar.
a bit rough around the
sentiments.
edges.
Like, yeah,
it's an older
like
match.
this is definitely
like,
one of Bacon's
still
earlier
fun.
matches. It's not bad for being an earlier match, but it
It's a fine
definitely
match.
has its the age shows compared to where Bacon is now. But even then, it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. Goes by a little quickly, but it's like, that aside, it's like, yeah, no, this one's still fine. It is a fun concept in the, like I said in my comment, the mental image of this super detailed Godzilla sort of like influencing the Minecraft world is incredibly bizarre, and I find that really cool. Just sort of like the weird mental image of Godzilla literally stuck in this blocky dimension where it's like like Godzilla has to like semi-conform to the game's physics. And then yeah, no, the weird thing of like friggin' Steve freaking getting radiation from picking up Godzilla's blood is like, oh my goodness. Something about that is like so darkly absurd. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
It's just-
goodness.
That's why I made the joke earlier.
Oh.
Epic Minecraft moments. I caught severe radiation poisoning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, not bad all around. I like it fine, but it's not. I don't
Yeah.
think it's.
This is one of those matches where it's like,
despite the
read it
weird
for the concept.
like that is definitely the biggest draw of the matches. Like, yeah, no, Godzilla in the Minecraft world is a what the heck moment. But it's like, yeah, no, I think it works fine. But like I said, it's not a crazy. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. But it's fine for what it is, and you know, if he does anything sort of like some kind of follow up to this, as the ending seems to tease, oh sweet, all right, I kind of look forward to reading that. So see where that goes.
He does have that planned. He does have a follow-up planned. Yeah, I texted with Bacon and told him, like,
Okay.
if there's anything special you want to say about the match,
Nagoto, what'd
tell
you
me
think
so I
of
can
the
read it in case he can't get on, and he's doing that right now, I think. Yeah, like, once everyone gives their thoughts, I'll chime in with that.
It's short. It's pretty okay. And
Exist.
poor Steve, dying from radiation sickness. What did he do to deserve this, Bacon?
Steve is dying of radiation poisoning and you're laughing, Kaiju X.
He's got both radiation poisoning and wither sickness.
And you're laughing.
And you're laughing. A Minecrafter is dying and you're laughing.
Oh my goodness.
An epic game.
Also, I like the reference to Mobzilla.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Mobzilla is from, like, a very well-known Minecraft mod called Orspawn, which is, like, a huge overhaul of the game that has, like, a bunch of different bosses up to it. And one boss is called Mobzilla. It's pretty much just, like, it looks like
It looks like Zilla.
Okay, yeah.
And
You want me to read
besides,
what
there's
they-
also a
what they
Godzilla
said?
mod out there too.
Yeah, there's a Minecraft mod for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't
Well,
exist
where'd
yet,
Joe
it
go?
will in the future.
Yeah, do you want me to read what Bacon sent me real quick?
Go ahead, Ditto.
No, Ditto, you speak first and I'll read it.
Joe Schmo.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's typing.
What'd you say? Oh, okay, so you want me to go then? Okay. It's
Something
short
like that, yeah.
and rough around the edges. Yeah, it's very clearly Bacon's early matches. Because, I mean, this is only like, what, 2,000 words long? And I think Bacon's, like, makes his matches longer nowadays with more detail and pacing and all of that. I think it was neat seeing, you know, Godzilla in a block world. Like, his body interacting with the landscape. Like, I think there was something about the water being weird and how, like, melded to his body. And then his blood not, like, adhering. Not not acting like normal water or lava. So it was cool seeing like the compare and contrast between the two different things, right? The Wither Storm fight itself was pretty cool. You know, seeing Godzilla actually take some damage from this thing. It was kind of funny that I think Bacon threw Steve like trying to fight it, but he doesn't die. I think like he just gets sucked into the Wither Storm. But that does play a part a little later because I think he reveals the core and then Godzilla just so happens to shoot it, and that destroys the Wither Storm. And then Steve dying of radiation poisoning, man. Like, bruh. Yeah, I don't know what a Mobzilla is, but that was pretty funny, I guess. I was like, oh, look at that, it's Godzilla, but it's Mobzilla. Get it? And then... yeah, something about the end, like, they find another portal, right? Or was it the Aether, or something like that?
End. I think it was the end portal.
Oh, okay, so maybe we'll get Ender Dragon or something, or a giant Ender Man. I don't know. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, looking forward to see what a more experienced
I also want to give
rider
a shout out to the new person
Bacon
who's
has
just joined us. Hello, GMK Goji.
see what
I
he
know you're
does
muted
with
at
that
the moment.
sequel.
Yeah, no,
that's
I
pretty
think
much
he's
about it.
currently, typing out his thoughts right now, and I'll read them off. If that be the case, yes. Yeah. In the meantime, while GMK Goji types out his thoughts, read what Bacon thought about.
Okay, can I read what Bacon has to say about the match itself?
It didn't have enough.
Okay, quoting Bacon here. The sequel will be better, I promise. Harley had to make a lot of edits for this one. It was the second KWCE I ever wrote. As a first KWCE of mine to go up, it's alright. I just wish I was a better writer back then, but it's also
Bacon
helpful
has
to see
definitely
the
come a
evolution of
long
my
way
writing.
since he first
Seeing this
started,
versus what I'm
and
writing now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely gotten better. Thank goodness, it makes my life easier.
That's it.
Very much, like the sequel he has in mind. I do look forward to that because that definitely sounds promising, and where he's coming from. Hey, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, baby. Anyway, no, it's Godzilla versus the pig.
I believe the sequel is going to be Godzilla versus the Ender Dragon.
Didn't we get 13. A new revamped KWC match? Right?
Oh, hey, yeah, appropriate. We were just talking about... Wait a minute. Oh my gosh! Yeah, no, Kaiju Muba and Kumasu Gami got it right last year.
Model guy.
Many years apart in two different time areas, but you know what? It works. Yeah, no, that was not a coincidence. That was just what a happy that is a coincidence. I'm a clown. I'm a big clown. Here's what GUK Goji has to say. I enjoyed the plot and background the story had set up, and the fight was good. I love how Steve tried to help Godzilla but ended up being absolutely useless. Also, I like the contrast between Godzilla's non-cube body and the rest of the Minecraft setting, which added some interesting depth. Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's kind of the biggest unique draw with this match is just putting Godzilla in a place where he clearly doesn't belong and how his physics interacts with the physics of Minecraft. That is a very strong positive in the match's favor. Like, that's one hell of a concept right there. Did you have anything more to elaborate on, GMK Goji, or you kind of like said your piece? Okay, that was all you had to say. All right, yeah. Thank you for your thoughts, man. And who knows? Maybe next time you give your thoughts with your mouth. Perhaps one day. But I think for the time being. Whoa. Oh right. Yeah. I guess we have to address the cat in the room, huh? Oh no, wait. Elephant in the room. Son of a gun. If you go to, the KWC combatant statistics, you scroll down, you like, oh, look at all these wonderful monsters that are here. Oh, oops, they're retired. But, look at all these wonderful additions. You scroll down, and you keep going down, and you eventually find someone that doesn't have a record. All zeros. And it's like, who are you, buddy? Who are you? And he presents himself and says, my name is Rion. Everyone's forgotten about me except for like 2 people. So yeah, no. Due to, I guess, just sort of like upper management miscommunication and a little bit of like, I don't want to say mishandled, but I guess kind of mishandled. Just yeah, no. I think Tyler had. Because
what do you mean? I don't want to say mishandled. Anthony didn't communicate with us at all.
So because technically our whole idea was we have a whole lineup of a whole lineup of new monsters, and that was sort of the intent. We were gonna have like a different match up next after Kaiju Mubas, but then it was like, oh yeah, no, why not cap it off with a secret surprise monster in the form of Rion? It's like, oh sweet. And so Tyler, I assume, had sent both the Baragon stats, the Kaiju Muba stats, and the Rion stats at once. And it's like, here you go. And I don't think he clarified update these with the appropriate days. I think it had just simply been, here you go, added to the next update. And I think he did. Or, no, he did. Like, he clearly added all of them just one fell swoop that I'm like, oh gosh. So, there's Rion. He will be appearing real soon. So in that case, we're not going to reveal who he's fighting. That will be saved for when the match comes out. Because that's the only surprise at this point, is who he'll be fighting. But I hope you guys enjoyed the match. So, again, it's no secret that he's there. But fortunately for us, he will not be... Yeah, fortunately for all of us, he at least will be out sooner than later. Thank goodness.
Look forward to that. Same usual time a match is uploaded. I guess same usual day. There's no specific time. Great Shot just uploads them whenever. When
We're
the
not
day
good
comes.
at organizing as we organize everything and then don't organize.
KWC doesn't have a schedule, okay? We're bad. We're not good at organizing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we organize things,
Oh my goodness.
but then the moment we need to actually do something, it all falls apart.
There is definitely that. But yeah, no. Again, Rion will be here sooner than later. That is my promise to you, fellow listeners of the podcast. Thank you for listening. But yeah, with that said, did anyone else have anything else to bring up? I don't think so. I think we got a nice, solid, stuff. Okay. Yay!
Yeah, next month. Oh, right, next month, starting June.
Yeah.
June is KWC E3, the event month of video game monsters.
Yay!
And yeah,
We got some real good
forward to
matches
that
lined
when
up for it.
In the meantime, see you guys next time.
Woohoo! Goodbye.
See ya.
Guess what? We're getting GMK, Ghidorah.
It's spoilers, Nagota. That's the first thing they hear. Okay, because I just started to back up. Okay, hello everyone, and welcome again to another session of KWCC.
God.
But why didn't you tell us you were gonna start recording right there?
Hello, everyone. This
That
is
was
being
your
tacked
fault.
onto the ending several minutes after the actual recording ended because Kaiju X has small brain.
Yes. I have big brain writing capabilities. I have a small brain human capabilities.
Kaiju X, do the announcement.
Okay. Alright. So, hello everyone. Welcome back. Oh my gosh. I meant to go over this with everyone when they were here. But unfortunately, my small brain forgot to register the announcement we were going to make today. Oh my gosh. Oh. And it's a verdict that we have come to in staff and the decision we are ultimately making moving forward. And I think that's, so effectively, as of today, we are putting Mecha King Ghidorah into retirement, or we are going to work in the we are going to work on putting Mecha King Ghidorah into retirement, because he will officially be shifted out for GMK King Ghidorah. We will be bringing in GMK Ghidorah for the KWC, and he will be taking the place of Mecha King Ghidorah. If anyone asks, it's like, hey, why are you guys doing this? It's kind of part of the matter is that Mecha King 1 doesn't get a lot of matches.
For some context, he's been around since match 60 and only has 7 matches.
Total. And even the matches we do have are very scarce and few, which is kind of shocking. That's like, he's been around for this long, supposed to be a popular version of the character, and then it's like, he doesn't get anything in. Not to say that's exclusively the reason we're getting rid of him, but it's a trend that we noticed that there was a distinct... I think it's the lack of the Atari powers, personally. I think had he had the Atari powers, he would have had more staying power.
Yeah.
But without that, though, you're just kind of stuck with... Even with the upgrades, it's like, you're still kind of stuck with mildly better Heisei Ghidorah. And it's not... It's too gimmicky. It doesn't take advantage enough of its own time travel component to make it a complete individual in its own right.
Yes.
Because ultimately, the exchange for Mecha King Ghidorah's retirement, the other exchange too, is that you don't need kids to be strictly attached to Mecha King. Because kids is what functions as the time travel sort of like go to and fro thing based on deeper research. It's all right to have kids be the thing responsible for bringing other mechas back and forth between time. You don't need it to be Mecha King for that to happen.
Yeah, Mecha King Ghidorah doesn't time travel. It's the time machine the Futurians have built inside of him.
Yes.
It's the thing that rises out of the water when he and Godzilla plummet into it.
Yeah. So
and yeah, as recently we did announce that like there is no technical incarnation limit for monsters.
Right, but
we're retiring. We're retiring Mecha King Ghidorah because what we do have a limit on is like archetypes of the character.
Mm-hmm.
And for Mecha King Ghidorah / GMK Ghidorah, that archetype would be heroic Ghidorah.
Right. Yes.
And we of the staff just think that GMK Ghidorah fills that role better and has more story potential than Mecha King Ghidorah does.
Right.
In other words, we are slowly getting rid of Heisei monsters.
No, we're not.
But yeah, no, that very well said, GBR. Thank you for saying, because yeah, no, that was perfectly said. Yeah, because it's like, that is the big thing. That's just like our focus is the archetype, like the archetype of the respective monsters. This is why I say we're never getting Showa King Ghidorah or Millennium Godzillas, because they, like, maybe aside from Evil for GMK, that's like, yeah, no, there's no, like none of the Millennium Godzillas do anything different that we don't already have. And even GMK, as you've heard in the podcast earlier, Kaishimuba is kind of like the GMK Godzilla in a sense. So it's like, you kind of got that going. And even if that wasn't exclusively the case, power-wise, we're mindful that GMK does fulfill that, like, true evil Godzilla real nicely. But it's also just kind of like, hey, you could kind of write anyone as that kind of evil. And then likewise, too,
yeah.
Like, if you want to say, he has the absorbing energy thing, Shin Godzilla low-key has that. And even if he weren't there, burning 2019 Godzilla. So... Kaishimuba versus GMK trio. That'd be fun. Ooh.
Yeah. And we literally just said Kaishimuba is our GMK Godzilla replacement. Might as well put our money where our mouth is.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so it's like there is that factor we took into account. That was like, oh yeah, no, this is just kind of. It's like, I do get that GMK Godzilla, like, is a great character, but his power, he doesn't do enough as a manifestation of ghosts to Like, I even understand he's technically not even that. He's more like possessed, but
Yeah.
it doesn't do anything too crazy in that department. When you take a step back and look at him just from a more power perspective, he's still somewhat vanilla, if that makes sense.
It's the same reason we don't have Como Dthrax in the KWC.
Right.
There's a lot of story potential, but just like power-wise, she's just Zilla.
Right, exactly.
And like to get into the KWC with this packed roster we have, like you need to have a lot of story potential and power potential.
Those are the best elements of that you would want. You want a lot of story potential. You want a lot of unique powers and other things you can do. Now, granted, sometimes it'll lean closer to one way or the other, or simpler monsters can get in by merit of popular vote.
Yeah.
So not
Showa Godzilla kinda.
Yeah, kind of like Showa Godzilla. That's a decent example of like, you know, he maybe like, okay, granted, Showa Godzilla actually has like a lot of story potential to boot on top of that. So
well, yeah, no, Showa Godzilla has like, it's not just pure popularity that got him in, but just like it helped.
Everything helped. Right.
Yes, we have Maguma. I get it.
Yeah. Again, we do have simple ones. Looks at Maguma. Yeah, no. Again, simple ones, and that was from. Let me be clear. That was from a simpler time. That was a far simpler time when we didn't have a whole lot of, like, the newest thing was 2014. We didn't have like MonsterVerse or whatever, so it's like, yeah, no. If we were also just getting started with the KWC at the time, we didn't have everything grounded yet. And yeah, before we had 90 plus monsters, absolutely. So yeah, no, it's like we are always working, we are always trying to make sure everything is balanced and reasonable, and that the omissions we make are sensible. We definitely look back at things now and to be like, oh yeah, no, there are definitely some characters that maybe were cut off too soon, or should have had a better opportunity to shine.
Yeah, should we actually? Okay, hold on. Let us mention this as well, or should I mention like what we plan to do with the survey like next year?
Yeah, I think that's fine to mention that, just so that way things are sort of quelled, if you will.
Yeah, with the survey next year, not the one at the end of this year, but the one at the end of next year. We are going to have one of the questions be if you could unretire any of the retired combatants, with removing like the ones like Heisei King Ghidorah and Heisei Mothra, which are just like completely invalid. And yeah, we will have a question of like, who do you want unretired? Like, there would be like Daigoro, C-Rex, those sorts of guys where it's like, they have stuff going on, but just like weren't really looked upon favorably at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Will Mecha King Ghidorah be part of that roster, part of that list?
We'll see. Only time will tell on that.
Yeah, we got until like 2022's ending to decide that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a while, but it's like...
yes, just like, if you complained about like the retired monsters, like who's been getting retired, like there will be a chance to bring back one of them. Mm-hmm. At least one of them.
Depending on who. So it's going to be entirely dependent, but it's like, yeah, no, there will be a chance. It is in the lines to bring back some of the retirees. Who will bring back is just kind of going to be partially dependent on vote and sort of like internal discussion at staff. So
yes, because here's the thing: the staff does not always unanimously agree on a retiree.
Right. So there are plenty of us have different opinions, and plenty of us have different everyone has a different outlook. Everyone has different priorities of what they want to see in a character. Some are more power driven, some are more character driven, and that can lead to some butting heads here and there. And coming to agreements isn't always easy, Oh, okay. Sorry, as we're looking at an unrelated meme, I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, it's like, do expect that to be a thing in the future. The reason with we still got a couple things to process for next year. So hopefully by the time we can get that survey up, for that time, it's like, yeah, okay, cool. We'll have everything set in order to see who we'll bring back. Again, there will be permanent omissions because there are some monsters we will not be bringing back at all once that threshold is met.
Yeah, like I said, Heisei Mothra and Heisei King Ghidorah are never coming back.
Right. Yeah, those
Same with Godzillasaurus.
Mm-hmm. Godzillosaurus, Showa Baragon, I would say, is one that's never going to be coming back. So yeah, but the rest can be more, depending on how we feel by the time we get there. The rest are more open to whatever the people want to see. So that is the important part in all this.
Yes. So do not panic. All is well.
For now. So
Mecha King Ghidorah will be missed, but hopefully GMK Ghidorah will be good.
Hopefully GMK Ghidorah will provide the much needed, I guess, sort of like, maybe he'll get a whole bunch of matches where Mecha King Ghidorah didn't. Who knows?
Also, with GMK Ghidorah, we complete the Yamato trio, kinda.
Yeah, like, we get the best of the Yamato trio. Like, we removed the worst ones being Mothra and Varan, and we put in the best ones being King Ghidorah and Anguirus. So, it works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I know that there is a contingent of people who don't like it when we retire monsters, and like, I understand it.
Yeah.
I disagree with them, but I understand it. But like, when we retire stuff, it's not just to be like malicious, like, hey, we hate this monster. Like, it is for a reason.
Right. We always tried to make it for a reason, and even if that reason was a byproduct of inexperience, it's still something we're all working on, you know?
Yes.
So, trying to find that happy middle ground of making sure that the retirement system stays in place while also having enough monsters to play around with, you know, enough monsters to play around with, you know? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That was the big sort of announcement. I wish everyone else was here when we were talking about it, but, you know, I guess there's just something low-key, nice to keep it low-key. So, yeah, GMK Goji, if you want to live up to your namesake, write GMK Ghidorah. But yeah, anyway, that'll be it for this month's KWCC, and we will see you guys next time.
Yeah.
So, see ya.